when I finally reached that point, I realized I was misusing it for just myself. Research and discovery and an investment into me has got me back on my feet and talking. But am I still about being human, insaniyat, manavta? Am I still anywhere close to that? And I fast forward now a few years and I talk about maybe 12 years later. In the year 2004-05, I saw myself sitting on an empire of medical institutions that I had opened up, a chain of medical diagnostic centers where I'm boasting about my latest CT scanner or the multi-slice superconductor MRI that I brought to the area where I was. There was nobody at that time with such equipments and the knowledge and brain I had, and this was after the accident. And still all about myself. Being in a wheelchair, unable to stand, with slip discs, with diabetes, with high blood pressure, with physical missing parts and permanent disabilities, I was still so much about acquiring more for myself. And then came one day in the year 2004-05, when just sitting and doing my work, I suddenly felt a little uneasy, did my own ultrasound and saw gallstones. So next week I had my gallbladder removed. I went to bed in 2008 and woke up next morning and I could not see my hands, and I thought maybe it's too dark, and I woke up early. So I called out for people because it was looking like kind of uneasy, because even if you get up in the morning or the middle of the night, you see something. I wasn't seeing anything. And then my servant came running and he told me, no, it's actually pretty late in the day and it's bright. And I realized I had completely turned blind overnight in the year 2008. And then 1.5 years later, sitting with my teachers and colleagues again back in the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, I live about 20 kilometers from there. They told me I had what is called both eyes bilateral retinal detachment, which is the back side of the eye where the image is formed, were torn. They were torn from the surface of the eye and bleeding profusely inside. And anybody who's 21 years or more, if gets retinal pathology, any disease there, and this was the worst of it all, cannot ever get vision back. Accident was bad, but this morning when I woke up, I was the most scared. The accident gave me a certificate of 55% disability, permanent, but the blindness gave me a certificate of 100% disability for the first time. Now I was worthless piece of flesh with no purpose, nothing to do. I couldn't even walk to the toilet now. I couldn't even see where my toothbrush is or where the toilet seat is. I was completely disabled that morning. I requested my professors to operate on me because it had to be an emergency surgery, and they said it would take many sittings to do so. And I lived by myself, so I forced them that the surgery has to be done today and it has to be done no matter how many hours it takes. Please go ahead and do it. Late in the evening when they finished on me, lying in the corridor outside the operation theatre, given that there was nobody else to talk to, I distinctly recollect having a conversation with him. And really I wanted to know what. Now what? What have I done? Why am I being punished? Today I know there is a karma theory, you have accumulated it over years. Somebody says, oh well, you deserve it. Some competition and enemies might even feel, I deserve better or worse. And all those theories that they are about, and some say it is just fate and just by chance. But I wasn't happy with the answers. I needed an answer as to why this has happened to me. Today, the vision is back. And last 6-7 years, the angiography that has been done for the torn blood vessels in the retina of my eyes has shown it steadily improving.
Okay.
Which science says after 21 years cannot happen. And I'm turning 60 next year. And this is not scientific. This is not by the way humans know about knowledge, about science, about how human body works. And I'm intrigued by the fact now that what is really that it is about human body and how it functions and what are the various things we are able to achieve. People talk about healing cancers these days. People talk about somebody who's disabled, able to walk, somebody can suddenly speak, somebody can suddenly see. And I have had most of these experiences for my own personal self. And hidden behind this, in that conversation, I felt there was a message. I was a small student in kindergarten and then in middle school and then in higher secondary and then college and then wherever, universities. Every time the test I was put through, the examination I was given, was a little tougher than the previous one. And I had become habitual of excelling. And this was just another exam he had put me through. And if I go through this with good colors, I come out flying with good marks here, I know there is some reward hidden behind here. And that I knew all those 15 years back, that I have to have this reward. I have to get this reward because I'm habitual of winning. And he had put me the biggest question. I have the answer now. In this conversation, thanks for allowing me that I could talk to you and maybe through this conversation spread the word around. The way universe has been handled by humans, and we are right now in the middle of a big war in Europe, Russia. We are so close to finishing this land for the entire mankind. We are maybe in the last few months, maybe few hours, maybe few years, I don't know. Decade looks at far cry. Be it global warming, be it droughts, be it floods, be it tornadoes, be it war, be it whatever, nuclear armaments, we're going to shortly finish this planet off for human beings. Maybe the other life forms will survive here, but not humans. I have an idea. I know there is a way to survive. And as I drove today to you, I was thinking, this message has to go across to everybody. The biggest challenge I am facing is this. I believe we all live in our own universes. I have my five senses. I smell, taste, touch, hear and see things the way I do. Even my twin brother or sister, if I had one, would see it differently. We all live in our universes created by our five senses. My universe is in trouble right now. My experiences are a match for a solution here. My education tells me there should be no suffering, there should be happiness for everybody, there should be plenty food, clothing, shelter, health, happiness for everyone. I know enough in 60 years about how human body functions, the chemistry of it, the images, the structures, the molecular level, the atomic level, the nuclear level, the magnetic level. I do all that. That's my job. So I know exactly how human body is structured to function. I know nothing about the soul. Soul is in journey and it has come to collect these few things and create what I call Jaideep and what we call whatever we call ourselves. But we came and picked up this stuff and we created our bodies, our coverings of that soul, and we call ourselves whatever we do. But given that we have been created as humans, the purpose of being human is humanity. That Jaideep, when he went blind out of retinal detachment, did not know anything about being human. I was not ever thinking of the discomforts and pains and troubles that people were facing. I was all about achieving my goals, my personal achievements. So some 12 years ago, at the advent, much before WhatsApp and other platforms had happened whereby humans were freely communicating over small little objects called cellular phones, I had thought of a project which I named HEAL, which was Health Experience at the Speed of Light, a platform where all my friends, and I was a doctor in Germany, I was traveling the world because I told you my father used to work for United Nations, and I would get free tickets to travel the world every summer vacation. So 2-3 months every year I was all over in medical colleges across the globe, meeting doctors and scientists and even few Nobel laureates, and trying to figure out as to what the world is about modern technology. And this was before the accident. And having gone through now as a patient through all this, I could easily now put the two sides together face to face and see how problems can be sorted out and how beautifully it is rising at the same time. As the problems rise, so rise the solutions. And HEAL was a platform where we were connecting in the virtual world students from colleges and schools in rural India in communication, video and audio and written and documents and images and pictures for medical problems be sorted out by the best brains in the medical world on the other side. Therefore, health experience at the speed of light. A press of a button and a child could ask a question about ailing grandmother in the village, or a child which has just had a snake bite, or some other medical problem, somebody having a convulsion, somebody with a road accident, just going to the app, pressing a button and asking, what do I do now? And the life being saved that minute. It had taken me 9.5 years to get out of hospital myself. But now the technology had become so great that the same thing can be done in a matter of few seconds. And the experience of health now needs to be delivered at the speed of light. And that was my insistence. And had I not gone through the prolonged agony of healing, I would have not known how much it hurts to not know what will happen, to be confused, to be in pain for too long a period of time, to yet be told we will see what we can do for you. Rather be told that wait a minute and we're going to come up with the world's best solution to your home. And that is now a possibility. And a wonderful possibilities about medical science. And if I were really today involved taking care of what next necklace to buy for my wife, or where to put my children in a college, or how to get them married off, or set them up a business, I would never have been able to do this, no? So he got me the right path. He knew where he could put me to actually fulfill on being on the planet Earth. And he was only doing that. And I was complaining. I was complaining all the time because I could not see the bigger picture. As I step back and I see things from luminaires' eyes and people who have had better vision, Gautam Buddha, Guru Nanak, Mahavir, who could have lived lives of kings and lords and big people, but stepped out of it to see the sufferings of the world and find solutions. Osho did. By default, somehow I got a little glimpse of what it is. And there are solutions. And they're simple solutions. And I get the fire that they had in their belly as to spread the word, to have it be a better place to live. One wonderful thing that I'd like to right now talk about, my country is right now the youngest country because we have the maximum population also. We are about neck and neck with China. But the youth population in India is 19% of the world population, while in absolute population, India is only 11%. These youth live fairly fast lives, road accidents happen, people die. Sad. Every death in a road accident is a sad thing. And I went through a lot of misery myself. My whole family perished out of that. But if such a tragedy has happened, given the present day's technology, one dead road accident body can save 60 families by simply donating organs. Yes, man has not become smart enough to yet get life back into dead bodies. And maybe that's for the betterment of humans. Otherwise, all of us would live and this place would not be livable after a few years. How much can this land sustain? So we need to leave. But we missed out on using what is the biggest resource of humans, and that is the body that we create since we are born. We take this air, this water, the wheat, the rice, the milk, whatever we eat, and create what we call us. But on our way out, if we were to take good care of our health and live a very healthy, perfectly wonderful life, eventually we will be leaving at a point where this can be used as a gift for the rest of the mankind. I lost my father around 20 months back. I'm proud to say that was the first person I had the opportunity of physically, surgically removing eyes from.
Okay.
And 4 people on the planet today see because part of my father's eyes are now with other people.
He donated his eyes.
Yeah, he believed in me.
Okay.
Eventually that rebel child of youth had become his best friend.
Okay.
In the last 1 year of his illness, and he was pretty sick for the last 1 year, we became very thick friends. And he said, for all that you do, I would want my eyes not to be burnt. He was 90. And this is what I want to tell the planet. Even when we are leaving the planet, at that moment in time, we have this potential to save dozens of families. You have the possibility of turning gods for them. You have lived a human life, but in the last breath, you can achieve being a god for so many people. Don't lose that opportunity. You start as just a little beating heart inside the mother, which I see every day when I do ultrasounds for pregnant ladies. And then in the last day of your life, you can reach to a point of being God.